Affordable integrated bracelet watches. All of the watches on this list are integrated bracelet watches that are affordable around that $1,000 price point or below. That is at the MSRP. However, if you buy them on the gray market or used, of course, they will be significantly cheaper. I have a lot of watches on this list. We'll start with my first pick. These are in no particular order. And of course, I have some weird watches to include throughout the list as I normally do. So let's start with my number one pick. The first watch on this list is a Nivada Grenchen. It is the F77. This is a thin, automatic, integrated bracelet watch with a very weird bracelet, a textured dial, a very high domed boxed sapphire crystal, which looks great. It gets part DNA from maybe a Royal Oak and a Tissot PRX, sort of a combination of both of those watches. It comes out to be a very good looking, very well made integrated bracelet watch. It's a reissue of one of their historic models. These come in at around $1,290. Depends on how you get it. They make stone dials, meteorite dials, PVD cases, so there's plenty of different options out there. All of them are pretty good looking. These are 39 millimeters, and I would definitely say these are a more upscale integrated bracelet watch. So if you want something that's more luxurious, but you don't want to spend a lot of money, definitely check out the Nivada Grenchen F77. And they also get 100 meters of water resistance, which is excellent when you're considering these should be everyday sports watches. So you are getting that 100 meters of water resistance, which means you could wear these all day, every day. The next watch on this list is one of the most affordable watches on this list. It's a Casio, but I do want to mention another Casio that's actually even more affordable than the watch we're about to talk about. The watch we're about to talk about is the Casio Edifice. I have featured this watch on my channel a number of times. You are getting a really great watch for the money. The bracelet is a lot better than you would think for around $100. It does have pressed elements in the bracelet. That's fine. It feels really nice in hand, and you're getting a sapphire crystal. Sometimes you're getting a brush dial on these. It's a slim integrated bracelet watch that I think you really can't go wrong with. And I believe these also get 100 meters of water resistance. There's tons of colors to choose from. There's not that many sizes. I think they only make one size right now, but they're starting to come out with more versions of this watch. I think it's a pretty awesome watch, especially considering that you can get these for around $100 on places like Amazon. I haven't featured many Brew watches here on my channel. However, recently they released an updated version of their metric. I think they're calling it the Super Metric. I'm not entirely sure what they're calling it, but it has lots of colors. There's circles and squares. That's kind of what they do. They're integrated bracelet watches that are square shaped. You get beautiful bracelets on these. They're 36 millimeters. You get a mecha quartz movement, 50 meters of water resistance, which is, not all that great. Definitely not going to go snorkeling with it or anything like that, but it is definitely useful. These are a modern and very clean look. They're a little bit artsy. I love the colors that they use. They definitely know how to design a dial. They do an excellent job. And when you look at the watch, it doesn't say Brew anywhere. It's very, very under the radar. And it's one of those watches, if you know, you know. Lots of watch collectors love these watches, and for good reason. They offer a lot for the money, and they're extremely good looking. These come in at around $475 for the stainless steel versions on a bracelet. That is pretty excellent. The next watch on this list is a watch that I cannot recommend enough for someone who wants a classically styled integrated bracelet watch that gets a very high precision movement. It is the Bulova Precisionist Super Seville. These are integrated bracelet watches that look sort of like a Rolex. You get a fluted bezel. They're 38 millimeters. You get brush dials. They're beautiful. They look really good if you like that classic styling. However, it's the precisionist movement why I always recommend these watches for people who want an affordable integrated bracelet watch. They're extremely accurate, number one, and number two, you're getting a very smooth sweep second on these watches that's better than what you would get from a Grand Seiko High Beat. However, they cost around $500 to $550 currently on the Bulova website. If these were more expensive at $800, I would say it's a harder purchase, but at that $500, it's one of the best bargains on this list. They make a few different color variants now, and they are all very good looking at that $500 to $600 price point. These watches are very, very hard to beat. Next is a watch that I was able to get hands-on with here on my channel very recently, and I was blown away by the quality that you're getting and the specs for the price. This was the Islander King's Point. This is a diving integrated bracelet watch. The integrated bracelet portion here is really tapered, so you're getting a tapered bracelet that looks great. You're getting a ceramic bezel, 200 meters of water resistance, a layered dial, an automatic movement. It's an NH35 inside. Just a really good looking, very nicely made watch. It's on the larger side, so 42 millimeters, and it's not extremely thin, but you do get 200 meters of water resistance. So you're getting a lot of specs, and the price on this is really good. It comes in at $345. When you think about it, a brand like Tissot offer the PRX in quartz, and it's more expensive than this watch. So definitely a bargain when you're considering everything that you're getting. The next few watches I'm going to mention in rapid succession. These are just some honorable mentions that I want to bring up here on this list. Strom makes some pretty amazing integrated bracelet watches with beautiful dials, very nice movements as well. They use Lejeune Perret and some other high-end movements as well. Their watches get beautiful dials though. This is what is special about these watches, and they're very, very well made. I definitely recommend them. The next watch I would say is the Yema Wristmaster. A few different variants of this watch. Another very high quality integrated bracelet watch, but you gotta like the look of these watches. They are kind of funky looking, but I do highly recommend them. They make micro rotor versions as well. Those are on the more expensive side. But if you want something that's a little bit more, something a little bit special, definitely check those out. And then of course, the Citizen Sayosa and the Citizen Zenshin. I cannot make a list without mentioning those watches. They are very, very high quality. Of course, the Zenshin is in super titanium, so you're getting a titanium case and bracelet. There are Eco Drive versions, automatic versions. There's a chronograph. The chronograph is hands down my favorite. I've mentioned them so many times on my channel, and that's kind of the reason why I'm not going into depth on these, because I've talked about them so much. And then of course the Sayosa, another bargain from Citizen. These are really traditional looking, and if you like that look, these are a great affordable integrated bracelet watch. Definitely check these out. Another watch that I'll mention here is Mosen Co, the 369. A very, very good looking watch that kind of looks like a Laurent Ferrier Sport a little bit. Integrated bracelet, square case, 200 meters of water resistance. You're getting a beautiful bracelet on these. You're getting a Sellita SW200. Lots of little specs and details on these watches that make them special. That bracelet gets on the fly micro adjust as well, which is pretty rare when you're talking about an integrated bracelet watch. Overall, beautiful watches with some beautiful dials as well. That 369 dial with those bars that they're putting instead of indices. Awesome, awesome watches. Highly recommend these. These are around $1,500, so they're more expensive than most of the watches on this list, but I definitely recommend them. When I was talking about the Casio Edifice before, I mentioned another watch that I wanted to bring up that was even cheaper than the Casio Edifice. It's another Casio, and it comes in at around $30 to $40, depending on where you buy it. It's the MRW. The 230H just was released just a few days ago. These give the bezels a little bit of a different upgrade than they've gotten in the past. Usually they're made out of plastic. Now they're made out of aluminum. These are integrated bracelet dive watches. So the case and the bracelet sort of mold together. So they do look like an integrated bracelet. However, they get 100 meters of water resistance. These are extremely affordable and actually pretty good looking. And now you're getting an aluminum bezel, which is very different from what you got previously from previous models. So you were getting a plastic bezel on those. This is a metal bezel. So it looks a little bit different, a little bit more higher end. I've actually taken these watches and filled them with oil, and they look fantastic when you do that. I'll put a link to that video that I've done in the past a few times with these affordable Casio MRWs. It's a fun project. And also it increases the water resistance. So you're getting 100 meters of water resistance already, and you oil fill them, and I think they go up to like 1,000 meters of water resistance or something like that. The last two watches are probably the most popular watches on this list, and that's why I've kept them to the end. Number one is, of course, the 12 from Christopher Ward. There are plenty of different versions. They come in stainless steel, titanium. There's the 12X, which is around $5,000. However, if you want one around that $1,000 range, get the stainless steel on a strap. If you want on-the-fly micro adjust and a bracelet, get the steel with the bracelet. It now has on-the-fly micro adjust. If you want an overall package upgrade, go for the titanium because you're getting an upgraded dial, you're getting an upgraded movement, and of course you're getting a titanium bracelet, and that does have on-the-fly micro adjust. These are pretty awesome watches for around $2,000, but you are getting a lot of watch for your money. You're even getting a Sleet SW300, thinner movement, higher end, overall excellent watches, and definitely a luxury watch at a not so luxury price. That's why I always recommend the Christopher Ward 12. Last but not least, the most popular watch on this list is the Tissot PRX, available in quartz and automatic. The quartz come in at around $275. The automatics are around $650. The automatics get the Powermatic 80, which gives you 80 hours of power reserve, a very, very popular movement from the Etta brand. These are great everyday 100-meter water resistant sport watches that are really good looking. They make them in a few different sizes, just like the Christopher Ward 12. The Christopher Ward 12, by the way, also gets 100 meters of water resistance. They're in competition with each other, but I would say the Christopher Ward 12 is just a little bit nicer than what you get from the Tissot PRX. Not saying that the Tissot PRX isn't good. I think they are excellent, and they do make lots of different variants as well. Recently, they came out with a carbon version, which is $1,000. I highly recommend that version. It is awesome. These are just cool watches. And of course, again, almost all of the watches that I mentioned in this video get the nod from watch collectors. Lots of watch collectors love these watches because they are really well made, they're really well priced, and of course, they're really good looking. And that's really the trifecta that you're looking for with almost any watch. Guys, tell me what you think of all the watches that I have listed in this affordable integrated bracelet watch roundup. I know there are other watches out there that I could have included into this list. Definitely add a comment down below and tell me what I have missed. Maybe I will make a part 2 to this video. Anyway, guys, thank you for logging on. Thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. It's really helpful for the channel. And again, I really do appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thank you for logging on. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for joining me today. I'll catch you guys in the next video.